My name is Chris Neto. I am the Market Development Manager here at Starin, and I am the host of the Starin Town Hall. I am joined by folks from Smart today, along with producer Mark, who is hanging out in the background. So if you hear me referring to producer Mark, I don't give enough credit for what producer Mark does. So thank you, Mark, for doing what you do. Appreciate it. So today I am going to introduce everybody. Let's start with Jen Weaver, who is not on the list, but she is at the back of the presentation. Jen, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for Smart, and then we'll hop on over to Bobby.
Yeah, so thanks, Chris. We're excited to be here with you guys. I am very excited about this relationship here with Starin, but my name is Jennifer Weaver. I am the channel manager for our enterprise line here at Smart. What that means, my sole focus is enterprise, which for me is anything that is non-K through 12. I've been in the AV industry for about 15 years and with Smart for almost 5.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Bobby, do you want to say hi and tell us about yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Hartsong. I'm the Sales Strategy Manager for North America at Smart. I have worked for Smart for just over 6 years. This month was my 6-year anniversary at the company. Done lots of different things at Smart, but my background is in K-12 education. So I actually was a teacher. I left the classroom, went to work for one of Smart's resellers in Texas, worked there for about 7 years, and then came to Smart. So my history with Smart is a long history. I had Smart boards in my classroom. Then I worked directly with Smart as a reseller and then came to work here. So really excited to be with you all today. Really excited about our products and where they're going.
Excellent. Maybe Bobby or Jennifer, obviously Annika and Frazier were not able to connect in today. Maybe you guys want to fill in the blanks as far as what Annika and Frazier do for the company?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll let Jennifer take that because that's kind of her line.
So both Annika and Frazier work on the enterprise side here at Smart. So Annika's title, and excuse me, I'm going to look my head over because she did send me some notes since they were unable to get in. She's the VP of our global enterprise segment. So she is in the UK. So with Starin being part of the Midwich group, she has worked with Midwich over in the UK for several years. She knows a lot of the people over there, so she can really open up and provide that global perspective of what we are able to do with you guys. And then Frazier Cousins is the Director of Sales and Technical Consulting here at Smart. So he works with the technical team. So if you have any of those customers, regardless if they're enterprise or education, and they really need to get in a lot of those technical aspects of how we're going to integrate with their systems and things like that, Frazier is great for that. He has a wealth of knowledge, probably one of the most knowledgeable people in AV that I think I have ever spoken to. I always pull him in when it comes into those technical questions and those odd things. So we all, the three of us, work together specifically kind of on that enterprise team here at Smart.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for introducing them. And I apologize that they were not able to connect in today, but we're going to jump right into the presentation and go through it. Again, folks, just a reminder, if questions pop in your head, do not hesitate to drop them into the Q&A. I will address them at the end of the presentation. We're going to let Smart go through what they're going to talk about and introducing some products to you and what they do as far as their services. This is your meeting, so do not hesitate to ask the questions. I just wish that Jennifer had kept her Pirates of the Caribbean hoodie on, because it would have been a crazy town hall to have somebody actually present in a pirate voice the rest of the time. But since we cannot get that, we are going to have some fun anyway. Thank you so much, guys. So I turn over the PowerPoint presentation to you.
Thanks, guys. So I think I'll go through, Bobby. I'll start here a little bit, and we'll talk about where we are here. So, guys, with Smart, what you're going to find out is this is the perfect timing with this partnership. Education, probably, as you know, knows Smart. That's kind of where we have been, where they know our name. but they also know us in that enterprise space. We've always been in that enterprise space, but conference rooms and enterprise hasn't been where education is. So now, with what has transpired over the last couple of years, that need for collaboration, that need to be able to talk with customers and employees that are potentially working at home and collaborating with them, how do we do it? So from Smart standpoint on what is going on in the world today, we think this is perfect timing for what Starin has to bring to the table with Smart. We think that we are going to be able to do great things across the country, the world, and with any type of environment that we're going to be faced to. Next slide, please. So where we are with what we've got going on in the market is what you're going to find is 1 and 2 classrooms are going to choose Smart. They're going to choose us, one, because of the name and because of the ease of use that comes with it. We've got technology that is easy for our customers to use. You see our displays, regardless if it's education or enterprise, with that pen tray because we've got a patent on that pen tray, right? You're going to see it. As everybody knows, the education funding is at its all-time high right now, which is great for everyone that is in that space. Students that are in schools and even in college right now, they've grown up with Smart. So from that enterprise space, they're coming out of that K through 12, that university, from using Smart technology. Now they want to go into the workspace and use it. So that's a great segue of walking into an enterprise customer and saying, you know, you're going to have these younger employees coming out of college that know how to use this. Let's get them that technology because they're going to be able to use it very easily in the workspace. Then when we talk about conference room, there's over 5,000 interactive displays deployed in business types environments, whether that's conference rooms, huddle spaces, CEOs. We know that those are all going to be in those types of spaces. So we know this is a great area for that growth, because there's more conference spaces out there and types of huddle spaces, I think, than education type classrooms. Next slide. So from a business perspective, what we talk about with our business lineup right now, today we have 2 displays that are available for our enterprise customers. The one, which is our 6000 Pro series, we are so excited because it's actually a brand new launch of a display for our customers in that enterprise space. Now, what you're going to see here, it also says TAA compliant. Well, if you have any federal government clients, they want a TAA compliant display. We offer that. The displays are made in a favorable nation. We also make those TAA compliant displays with no IQ and no Wi-Fi. So if you have high security type clients, like a Lockheed Martin or someone in that aspect where they cannot have those types of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, we make a display that's going to be able to fit those environments. Then also the MX series, which is kind of that entry level, you know, we don't need anything real fancy in our space. We want that awesome interactivity that Smart offers. That's where our MX series comes into play for those enterprise type spaces. Now, also, we have the Smart Podium, which is a 24-inch interactive type monitor, which is a great secondary display for any of those at-home workers. I happen to have one sitting here on my desk that I use at times. And then as far as software comes for our enterprise space, we've got our free software, which is our Meeting Pro software. And then from your guys' standpoint, being huge with Zoom, we can integrate with Zoom. We can integrate with Teams. We can integrate with WebEx. We're also going to work with all of those Microsoft applications that are out there. And we're going to work with a whole host of other applications that are available in that enterprise type space. Next slide. Here, I'm going to throw this over to Bobby.
This is where I'm an expert. Our education lineup, you'll notice, looks a little bit different than what you were just seeing with Jennifer in the business lineup. We've got one more panel here in this group called the GX series. The GX series is a panel that is designed for our customers that are very, very, very budget conscious. Their bottom line is, I need interactivity, but I need it at the least expensive price I can find. And so the GX series is designed for that. It's not designed for our customers that understand, know, and love smart, because they have an expectation of the way our interactive displays work with IQ, IQ being our built-in Android operating system. So the 6000S, that Jennifer just talked about it, but we call it our smartest smartboard. It is the pride and joy, the crown jewel of our line. It does the most, and so we're really excited about that being a part. The MX series, of course, is the workhorse of both our business and education lineup. It's where you've got all the essentials, everything that you could ask for out of an interactive display at a really great price. We've also got the Podium for education. So this is great in higher ed. This is great in secondary classrooms, high school classrooms that are maybe more auditorium style boardrooms. The local school district that I used to live in, I just moved a few months ago, but the district that I used to live in, every board member had a smart podium in front of them at the board meetings so that they could annotate and make notes, and that could be projected out for people to see. With education, we've got a software called Lumio by Smart. This is a play on devices. So this takes that interactivity that people have come to know and love about our displays, and it transfers that to student devices. So Chromebooks, iPads, different kinds of tablets, whatever can connect to the internet, we can really turn that interactivity and collaboration to students, something that we're really excited about, also being able to offer teachers insight into learning virtually. And then, of course, the integrations like Jennifer just talked about. We've got those great integrations with Google Drive, OneDrive, Teams, Zoom, you name it, we're integrated with it. We can get into all kinds of different applications, just the same as we do in the business side of our world. All right, so are you got?
Go ahead, Bobby. We can both talk to this one. Go first.
Well, I was just going to say, so, we've all been affected by this. I know that this is not something that's new to you, the supply chain, the issues that have happened around the world. But the good news is we are backed by, by our ownership, by Foxconn being able to dip into some areas where, we otherwise might not have been able to go and get resources and those types of things. So our 6000S that we were talking about earlier, that crown jewel of our line, we are going to be shipping that in volume very, very soon, the volume coming in March. 3 of our 4 panels, so the Podium, the MX series, and the GX series, they're all in stock right now. We can ship those today. And so we're really excited that our supply chain has been redesigned for resilience in this really tough market that we've all lived in for the past however long. It seems like it's been about 18
Forever.
years. But we're really excited about having stock of 3 out of the 4 panels and being able to ship in volume coming in March with the 6000S.
Yeah, and guys, just to add on that is education or enterprise, right? Because we do have those different SKUs when you look at that. But what you see here on the side of the pictures where you kind of see that boat there at the bottom, we've taken the efforts to charter a boat to get our product here, right? So instead of relying on the other shipping companies that are there, we knew we needed to get product. We've taken that on ourselves. If we need to do it again, we can do it again. And the reason you see those photos of those other kind of like chipsets and things that are there, we're looking at, how do we source those from other manufacturers that make this product, that have them available so that we can get them in, right? So we have gone through that process over the last couple of years to ensure we have the product coming in and to be able to meet your customers' needs and the demand.
And the nice thing about that chartered boat is it's a smaller boat and can get into smaller ports. So, you know, my heart was hurt. Somebody showed me a picture. They had been on vacation in California in December, and they were like, "Look at all these ships." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's really neat." Right off of Laguna Beach, taking pictures of ships just sitting out there. These ships that we've chartered are smaller. They can get into the smaller ports. They can be unloaded. We've really made sure that we can deliver on the things that matter.
Okay, guys. So we've shown you some slides. So if you guys just give me a quick second here, I am going to get rid of my virtual background. I'm going to switch my camera view here so that you can see me working at my display. We're going to go through a quick showcase and highlight of some of the things that we can do here with a smart display. Oh, my camera's off just a little bit. So what you guys are looking at here is standard on our displays is what we call our smart IQ. So this is what ships with enterprise displays. This is what ships with education displays. So it's that out of the box experience. You don't have to worry about, do I have to have a computer tethered, or do I have to get a computer from Smart? What do I have to do? Customer just needs that out of box experience. We've got that for you. That's going to be what we call Smart IQ. So here on the screen, if I go into what we call our digital whiteboard, I have the ability to select that. That's going to pop up here on the screen. I'm going to change that background color for us so that it looks easier on the eyes when you look. So I have the ability to make this kind of that chalkboard background look. I can add some pens. I can add some lines to it, but I can pick up any of my pens and be able to write here on that whiteboard screen. I can select it. I have the ability to quickly convert that over to text. I have the ability to move that around on the screen. If I needed to add in any type of images from the web or anything that was saved to the display, I quickly and easily can do that. So this whiteboard gives you the ability of having a 9-grid space to move around in so that you have more area to do that whiteboarding, that brainstorming. We do give you some color selection, and then we do have the ability for education and for some of our enterprise to be able to pull in some additional type widgets if we need those up on the screen. So IQ gives us that quick and easy whiteboarding type functionality. You can put that display on your network, whether that's going to be Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and then I still have the ability to have a browser. Or from a curated app store, I have the ability to download apps. So I can get that Zoom app on there. I can get PowerPoint. I can get Word for our education spaces. We've got tons of educational apps that are available that they can be able to put right on that app store for them. Now, if we go over and we talk about connecting a computer to it. So remember, our smart displays are our interactive monitor, so you can connect a computer to it. So I'm just going to select my input setting here, and I'm going to come over to where it says computer, and I'm going to go over to my computer input. So real quick, what we wanted to show you is our enterprise software that's taking over that meeting room space, which is what's called TeamWorks. TeamWorks is completely agnostic to when it comes to web conferencing. So you could have a Zoom meeting scheduled, a team meeting scheduled, a WebEx meeting scheduled, and it gives you the ability to have that one-touch join, or I can just walk into that space and be able to reserve it. So as you see, my room is free here. I'm going to select reserve now, and I'm going to come into my room workspace. So I have now another area of whiteboard feature that again can be able to write any type of notes that I need to. I have the ability to access my OneDrive if I wanted to, or I can get into the My Documents section of the computer. Software application installed on a computer, remember that's where we're at here. So I have the ability to pull in different types of items. So if I wanted to pull in a PowerPoint, or if I wanted to pull in an image, I have the ability to get those on the screen. I think that PowerPoint is going to take a second to load. I think it is an extremely large file a customer had sent me. But I have the ability to touch on it, make it big, pull it in. The other great thing about this, which we totally can talk about, we can totally schedule other times individually with you guys or as an office or as a group to do a deeper dive into TeamWorks. But I have the ability, I had my phone here with me, to join this session from a mobile device and be able to collaborate back and forth. So we have a completely free app that you or your customers can install onto their mobile device that's going to give them the ability to join in this session. We also have a free app for Windows devices that they can install on there. And we can save, we can export, we can email out. I still have access to items that I know I have on my computer. So I just made some shortcuts for Adobe and PowerPoint if I wanted to be able to access those, or a quick website. But I also can scan the QR code there and transfer my credentials to the display. So my meetings or my OneDrive that I utilize, and without even logging into the device. So we know that's a quick kind of overview of Teamworks. Again, I said we're happy to schedule those additional times to get into that deeper dive of what Teamworks can do.
Awesome. We are going to go back to the PowerPoint to reintroduce the team. So the team that you saw at the beginning of the presentation is all here represented now. So you see who your team is from Smart. Anybody that we're missing, Bobby or Jennifer?
I think the thing that we wanted you to get out of this second introduction was where, kind of our what vertical we really have expertise in. So, Annika is Vice President of Global Business. Frazier has that sales engineering background. Myself, like I said earlier, the K-12 education background. And then, of course, Jennifer has the enterprise business as well as higher ed background. So the idea here is we can cover, what the customer needs that you have, no matter who they are, where they are, what they're doing. We've had experience with them. And so we just wanted to make sure that you had, that you understood that about our team.
So I have a question. I at one point was a technology manager and an integrator. So I kind of always have my other hats on. My question to you guys is there a delineation between education and enterprise? Is it you're all the same team, or is there a vertical kind of separation? Because, for the customers that are currently on the call and listening, if you want to talk to, you come in through Starin and you want to talk about a particular product, does it have to go one way or the other? How are you guys addressing that separation, or is there a separation?
Sure. Yeah, there is a separation at Smart. We do have an enterprise focused team as well as an education focused team. So, it's not a hard siloed delineation, but it is one where we make sure that we have the experts that you need in the right places. We have a larger footprint in education, as you probably can imagine, and so our education sales team is quite large. But within that education sales team, we've got both a channel facing team as well as an end customer facing team. And then on the enterprise side of things, we kind of have they're a little bit more together, right? So Jennifer, as a channel manager on the enterprise side, is going to be working with our end customers as well as our channel partners. Whereas with the team that I work with, the education team, we've got a whole team that works with end users and a whole team that works with our channel partners. And there's some blurred lines there. We cross lines quite a bit, actually, because we want to just get the job done and make sure that we're there for you when we need.
Excellent. And just to be clear, I guess the question will now go to I'll hit Jennifer with this question. Yeah. I say I am an integrator and I'm working with a big box company, and big box company has a training department. Does that fall under your education, or does that fall under enterprise?
And that's where we look at it and we go, our education software can totally be utilized with enterprise, because I do that a lot. I have enterprise customers that have training departments. And so what we do is we look at the whole organization, and we sell them or talk to them about our our enterprise panels, and then we can add on some of that education software, because we want those enterprise customers to understand we don't just fit in that training area. We can fit into the other areas within an enterprise business, because we know that enterprise business has all of those. There's the HR, training, as you mentioned, Chris. Education is teaching, right? So if it gets to where that training department really wants to get into Lumio and how to use it, then I reach out to the education sales consultant, or I'd reach out to Bobby and say, who's in the area of where this customer is and who's going to be the best fit for this customer, to be able to talk to them and help them. So that's where it becomes a non-siloed, where we all work together, because it comes down to what's going to be the best fit for the customer.
Sounds great. Well, thank you for answering that question. And we do have some Q&A that came across. One is a fun one. Kevin wants to know, do you call your customers Smarties?
I don't know, Bobby, if we have anything from the education where we call our teachers.
I mean, we call some customers names. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
don't we all? No, but we don't have cute little pet names for our customers. And
you know what it is? I honestly believe it's a trademark thing. You would have a candy company that'd be a little upset with you.
Well, and the interesting thing is we are a Canadian company, and so there are Smarties in Canada and Smarties in the US, and they're two very different things.
Yes, one is chalk and the other one is chocolate. So.
Yes.
Familiar with it. Well, thank you, Kevin, for that interesting question. I'm sure that they can come up with some funky pet names for their customers. Another question that came up from Eric. In today's COVID environment, what steps or considerations have been taken, if any, with no touch?
So I would like to know, do you mean classroom specifically? Do you mean boardroom? Do you mean everywhere?
I think Eric is primarily going to the touch conversation, obviously with COVID, touching things. So questions like this typically come back to, what kind of cleaning can be done on your screens. What, the use of one of the things, and I'm going to answer it, but I'm sure you can go ahead and add your piece as well to it. Whether, what kind of cleaning can be done to the screens? What about the use of pens or some sort of device to touch the screens as opposed to having somebody with their hands on it? Is the surface antimicrobial? That kind of conversation is where Eric is going with it. So go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We never really had anything to discuss cleaning of the product in an official capacity until I was actually at the last live trade show that I was at in February, beginning of March 2020, and everybody was coming up to us and saying, how do you disinfect this thing? Because we all were like, what's COVID? But we did spend some time and really got into it. The short answer is it can be cleaned with just about anything. You want to avoid caustic type things, bleaches, that type of thing. But if you've got a bottle of Windex and you spray it on a cloth and wipe down the panel, you're good. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to spray, use a Clorox wipe, as long as it doesn't have bleach in it, you can wipe it down that way too. What we tell everybody to avoid is avoid excess liquid. So, as you're working with any kind of technology.
So you're saying no fire hoses.
Right, no fire hoses.
No power washing, no fire. Okay.
I mean, as long as you avoid
check
that,
it off the list.
You're pretty good. Yeah. So, nothing's going to void the warranty or anything like that. If someone's cleaning the panel, again, it's just about, it's just about making sure that you don't have that excess liquid going everywhere. As far as touch, antimicrobial surfaces and stuff like that go, we don't do that. It's not actually, something that we've spent a whole lot of time on, because the honest answer is it needs to be cleaned. Even if it's antimicrobial, it needs to be cleaned. And so, we just encourage the cleaning of the product. As far as, the pins go, all of that type of stuff, it all can be cleaned the same way. There's no electronics except for the 7000R, which we're not doing that anymore. But all of our pins are plastic pins. There's no electronics in them. And so the pins can be cleaned very, very easily. We honestly haven't had a lot of pushback from customers on this can't be cleaned, and this is not a great place for students, and that kind of
I
thing.
think that conversation may change, and it's simply because, as at least in the US, as businesses reopen and you constantly have people cycling through conference rooms that are never the same, I think the encouragement, and we've sold touch screens before. I think the encouragement when this first hit was that you kind of owned your own little pen or device that you can move from place to place, and you keep it with you, and it's your pen and your way of touching. So you're saying there's no electronics needed in any of the pens. They're not like a USB pen. They're not like my Microsoft Surface that requires this crazy pen or an iPad that requires a particular type of pen. These are capacitive, just self-touch type stuff.
So they're not. It's not just a generic like pick up any pen and write on the board, right? They're specialized pens. There's some secret sauce to them.
Okay.
They are plastic, and they're not going to be hurt by being cleaned. So you want to make sure you're using the pins that come with them, but they're not electronic.
And those pens are available for purchase, additional pens if necessary.
There are additional pens available for purchase.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I hope that answers the question, Eric. And I know that Kevin had sent in some questions as well regarding pairing the pens and different pens in different colors, but they're not smart. They're not the smartest of pens, but they just work with your smart board.
Well, yeah. So they actually are smart pens,
Yeah.
but it's not electronic.
Now you proved me wrong.
It's not electronic.
Now explain
Not
where
electronic.
I'm wrong here.
Yeah, so the great thing about our pins, dependent on the panel. So the 6000S series, let's take that one for example. That's what Jennifer was using. If Jennifer packed up all her pins, put them in her backpack, showed up at a trade show, pulled those pins out and started writing on a 6000S panel, it's going to get that. The panel understands 6000S pins. The MX series, same thing is true. It understands the MX pins. Right. And so the communication, there's no pairing that has to happen. And there's also, again, the ability to just kind of have your own set if you needed to, if that's the plan that you came up with and you're like, Bobby, bring your pins with you when you come to the office. Cool. I got them all in my backpack. I actually do have a set of pins in my backpack that I carry around with me, not because I'm worried about germs, but just because it's convenient. And if I need to show it, I can pull it out. And, we have some extra pins that you can purchase as well that do some other fun things.
Excellent. So there is somebody on the Q&A noticed that during Jennifer's demo that there was a live preview that popped open, the input on the input window. Any truth to that, or are we seeing things, or
there is a live input preview? You did see that.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Brain freeze there for a second. Yeah. So what happens with that is, so on our input screen, all of our displays come with the live input preview. So what happens that is, on the IQ screen, I selected the input button so I could see it. So if you guys happen to have noticed that when I selected the computer, that was my OPS computer. So my display has a computer that slides into the back of it. If you happen to see that black box. That's my Comcast TV box that I have connected into my display. And I have other inputs that are there. So you can connect in multiple devices, video type devices, whether they've got HDMI, whether they have USB-C. If they still have a VGA on it, we still give you that because we
You
still
just lost
know.
points for mentioning VGA on
Trust
a
me.
town hall.
Fools.
I'm so sorry. We know that they're still out there. We get it. We still want to try and accommodate them.
I
But
just,
yes,
you know how many years of therapy I've been through to get rid of that word, and now
must
you
be.
just brought back some memories again.
Chris,
Bent
I'm with you.
pens,
The VGA
BB9s.
sunset. Remember that? I was so excited for that back in the day. So excited.
Has it really set? We don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, and backwards compatibility. Yes, we have to address backwards compatibility to people. Obviously, the customers are the ones that are going to make that happen.
Yeah.
A friend of mine once said he was working for a different manufacturer. And I said, when are you going to get rid of those things? And he said, the minute people stop asking for them.
Yeah.
It's the minute people will, get past the laptops that were still being sent out with it. And then when they first switched out to HDMI, nobody told AV. From my technology manager friends, they got laptops with HDMI outs, and all their conference rooms still hadn't switched because everybody was still on the other generation of laptops with VGA. So they thought they had more time. Yeah, it's been some interesting changes.
My first laptop from Smart only had VGA, and we were selling 4K panels. And I was like,
Bobby, that is not a story you want to retell, man. That's
right.
Well, I appreciate it. We do have Mark, if you want to pop up the slides, we're going to move on to the next segment of the town hall, which is there it is. The ability to book a smart demo. Here you go, folks. It is there. You can go ahead and zap that QR code and get a hold of a smart tech demo. They'll be more than happy to do not only this demo, but a more in-depth demo. And I'm sure that you will not have the technical difficulties I had in bringing in the rest of the folks. So I apologize again for the folks from Smart that were scheduled to be here that are sitting on the other side of the fence going, why can't we get in? And I apologize. And that's on me. So outside of that, 3 things to walk away with. This is your thing, right, Jennifer?
Yeah, guys. So a couple of the things that what we're seeing is kind of more so on that enterprise side, because you guys know in the education space, there's that funding that's available. They're looking at what they can do in the classroom. So that's there. We all know, what's taking place there if you're in that education space. But when we look at that public sector and in the enterprise space also, that funding right now is at an all-time high. We're seeing Blue Light get funding that they've never gotten before because they're trying to figure out how to do virtual collaborative trainings, right? We still fit into that category there. So keep that part in mind. We know that hopefully offices and businesses are slowly going to start welcoming employees back to the office. Now that's going to look like a bunch of different things for every organization, but we know what do they need that's going to make it different, right? Because people are sitting at home. Like I'm at home, I have my computer, I have a secondary monitor here, I can do my Zoom calls, I can do my team calls. So if I had an office to go to, I need something that's going to entice me to go back to the office because I'm home. I can take care of anything and everything that I need to while I'm working. So how are we going to entice those employees to get back to the office and want to come back to the office? Enterprise customers are telling us that it's collaboration. Collaboration is that big buzzword for them. And granted, collaboration means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but it's ultimately I don't want to send an email and wait for a response from somebody if I need them to, edit a PDF document for me, edit some plans, edit this PowerPoint presentation before they actually do it. So with Smart, you have that ability to get everybody on a call, especially with Teamworks, and be able to do that remote collaboration, whether they're in the office or sitting at home. And then, guys, the other thing is the new portfolio we have. Like I said, I've been in the AV industry for over 15 years. Before I came to Smart, I was with a reseller. I have sold other interactive technology. But what brought me here is the fact that we can advance. We listen to our customers on what their needs are. We take that back to our R&D team, and we make sure our hardware, our software works together and is meeting the demand for the customer. So that is why you see us come out with new product, evolution of new product, making sure that our IQ, which you can get updates at no charge for those. We are on the latest version of that Android. So we are on 11. We do that. We're not stopped. We don't just stay there, because we know there are some companies out there that just stay there. So you're going to win with Smart. And we know that. And we know that everybody, as far as customers are concerned, are going to be happy, because it is very easy. It is very easy to use. And we have a team to be able to support you with that.
Okay. Sounds great. We did have another question come sneaking in through the back before we get to our next slide. Mark, you can move on to the next slide, because it's the fun one where we announce who our winner is. But before we get there, somebody had to drop off for a moment, and they didn't know if they heard the question being asked or answered. So here's the question: is all software free, or is Smart still having to have customers have a subscription to use the panel? If subscriptions are still needed, how is subscriptions working in education districts these days?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you do not have to have a software subscription to use the panels. In fact, that's a really great myth that our competition has told to a lot of people, and it's been around for a while that was the case, and it's just not true. So one, no subscription necessary. There is free software. So we have Smart Notebook Basic version, which we encourage customers to use that Smart Notebook Basic version, especially if they don't want to pay for software. It's a better experience than our last free version of our software, which was Notebook 11. So we encourage customers to use Smart Notebook Basic version if they don't want to pay for a subscription. We also have Lumio by Smart, which is our online platform. There is a free version of that as well. Of course, if you want more, more features, you can purchase a software subscription to Smart Learning Suite. And a lot of our customers do purchase that. We actually have an 80% renewal rate on those customers that do purchase our subscription. 1 in 4 classrooms actually have a paid software subscription with Smart. So to answer your question, no, you don't have to have a subscription to use our panels. Yes, you can have a subscription to use, more than the basic version, but you don't have to have it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. And just real quick, Chris, if you don't mind, same thing on the enterprise side. We do have a completely free software that comes. It's called Smart Meeting Pro. That's our unbounded whiteboard application for our enterprise customers. So if they don't have to use that software, but they can. That one is completely free. Now the Teamworks that I went through, that is a fee-based subscription, because there's some more things that go into Teamworks, but also keep in mind Teamworks does not have to work on a smart display. It's great. And functions better on a smart display, but we do have some customers that even have and are utilizing it on a static display because they want the scheduler portion of it. So that part of it is a fee-based subscription.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for answering all the questions. Those have addressed all the questions. If you guys have any more questions, you're more than welcome to send them in. So now we get to our $50 Amazon gift card winner, and producer Mark has run it through the generator or the numerator or whatever, the spinny ball thing that you see at night at 11 o'clock on the news. And the winner of the grand prize is Lee Pence. Congratulations, Lee, or Leah Pence. I apologize if I mispronounced the name, but you are the $50 gift card winner. Producer Mark will be in touch. Now, from a Starin perspective, you have help. You have help internally here at Starin outside of just working closely with Smart. Katie Thompson is our brand manager. She will be more than happy to assist you. Her information is up on the screen. Her extension, you can reach her on the Starin interwebs as well. But we have a team that is dedicated not only to the technology, but into the education space as well. So, and that is where Katie's background is strongest in. So Katie's your brand manager. Get a hold of your CE or your salesperson, and guess what? Katie will be able to help you as well with the project and whatever you're looking for. So we're going to wrap up this town hall and say thank you to the folks from Smart. I apologize again for the folks that are not here who will be watching this on YouTube. Yes, you did get your shout outs out, and we made sure that your team did that. Bobby, thank you so much for being here. You know, you went into Mythbuster mode. If I get you a beret, I have an idea for a podcast. It'll be interesting. If you haven't watched Mythbusters, that guy always wears a beret on his head, and you kind of got the beard going. So let's go. Let's go ahead and bust some myths. Jennifer, thank you so much. Again, your pirate voice would have been a much interesting part of this, especially when you try to say VGA with a pirate voice. I'm sure that would be well received.
I'm sure.
Where can folks find out more about Smart? I will leave that up to you, Jennifer, to answer that question. Where can we find out more information about Smart products, and Smart in general?
Yep. So guys, we have just launched recently a brand new website. So it is smarttech.com, smarttech.com. When you get to that website, you can start to peruse. You can see our education side. There are separate links for education, for business, for government. And again, we want to stress, don't feel like you have to try and find all of the answers on our website. You know, you can reach out to Katie or to us. If you reach out to Katie, she'll get you in touch with the right representative from Smart to help answer your questions. We want to support you. We love to support you. And yes, we want to don't feel like you have to. And then we have our YouTube channel. If you just go on to YouTube and you Google Smart Technologies, we have about 4 different types of YouTube channels that are there. You can take a look at different videos and things that are there. You know, but you do have, trust us, there. Even though you're seeing 4 names and 2 faces today, we have a whole team of people across the world that are going to be able to help us.
Yes, technically it was a squad, as the kids like to say, that was coming. Yep. So half the squad did not make it. So we have like a mini squad going. But trust me, there are more people behind the scenes that you have not met that are anxiously awaiting your call. Real quick, Bobby, we did have a kind of a side question come into the question that you answered before. So it's a really quick answer. In the demo, you showed a difference. In the demo that you guys do for the customers, do you show the difference about what comes with the panel versus what comes with a paid subscription?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the conversation. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. I hope that answers Lee's question that was sent in last minute. Bobby, where can we find out more information about you as well? Are you out there do you have your contact information, or you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell everybody who's listening, get a hold of Starin, because this whole team, whether you get all their names or not from Smart, we will get a hold of them for you. Katie, myself, your salespeople, your CEs. There's a whole squad here too at Starin. I'll be more than happy to help you. Once again, thank you, everyone. My name's Chris Neto. I'm the Market Development Manager here at Starin. I'm the host of the Town Halls. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We have more exciting Town Halls coming the rest of the year. Remember, we do it once a month. Don't mind the dog in the background. Somebody just showed up at my front door, but the joys of work from home. Join us next month. We do have a surprise guest coming on to give you guys a heads up of what is new and interesting in the technology world. My name's Chris. This has been the January Starin Town Hall.